Hey boss, what it do, Breakfast Club? It's your boy ChammyMan93 here to cover for one of your members. So apparently the subject is about necrophilia. I don't know what you degenerates have been up to the past couple of weeks since I was last on, but god damn it, you want me to talk about the moral implications, the pros and the cons. And apparently it was thought of by JJTalkz. Well, I'm not surprised. But anyway, since we're here, and since I don't have a lot of time, I have to go watch some Shakespeare, 12th Night, the one about the twins, in case you wanted to know. But let's get into the cons. Wait, let's get into the pros, people. And the pros, well, there's not really an awful lot of pros. I guess the first pro is there's no real issue of consent, because the person's dead, right? Necrophilia. You're having sex with dead people. The dead person could neither consent nor not give consent. They're dead. So if you're a rapist or if you're someone who has issues with those things, humping a dead thing solves all those issues, right? I mean, you don't have to essentially have all these weird communications with people, so we might not have to misinterpret body language or words or anything like that. No, the person's dead. You can just get on top, have your way with it, and you'll be done. No problems with regards to consent. I guess another pro is there's loads of dead people. There's people dropping like flies every day, let alone every week and month and year. So you'll never have like a limitless supply of people. You won't have a pool of people who you can pick potential dates from, because they're not really dates. They're just people who are dead, and there's loads of them in your local morgue. And I guess that's really the only pros I can really think of. And as for the cons, well, it's very simple. There's a lot more of them. Firstly, you will be frowned upon by society if you do so. Now, you're frowned upon because, well, first you're desecrating a body, a person's body. Yes, one may argue that they're dead. They don't give a shit. But while you're alive, I think you would give a shit about your body being desecrated in that way. I mean, there's got to be some level of respect afforded to the dead. I mean, yeah, they won't be there to care, but there has to be a limit. It's quite a depraved act. Why is it that you have to fuck a dead thing? A dead thing. A bloody dead body. And that alone is bad enough, but think of all the potential diseases that you could get from that. You think just because they're dead, you can't contract a disease, let alone sexually transmitted ones, but God knows what else you can get from dead things. There's a reason why it was outlawed way back when in human civilization. They may not have known what bacteria and viruses were, but they knew what disease was, and they knew what in their heads caused it, which was dead bodies, or swamps, or rubbish, sewage, stuff like that. They knew that if people stood around dead bodies for long enough, people would start contracting illnesses, and fucking dead bodies is a surefire way of getting yourself a disease. Let's not forget, there's got to be something plainly mentally wrong with a person who would have to have sex with a dead body. I can't understand why this person cannot just go and get a prostitute or something who is alive and is willing to have sex with them for the money. I mean, if you can't afford it, fair enough, but there's masturbation, guys, come on. But what if a person in their will bequeathed you the right to have sex with their body? Well, what do we do then? There's a moral quandary for you. Well, do you deny that person's will, even though it's illegal, but they want that? And would you deny someone their right to the pursuit of happiness, to get their rocks off of the dead person? That's a moral quandary. I can answer it and say, well, tough shit. This is the law. You don't want this person to get disease. Condoms are only 98% effective, and who knows, this person might have loads of stuff wrong with them when they die anyway. And to be honest, would anyone really want to have sex with worm meat? But to be honest, that's the only moral quandary I can really think of. Oh, and as an addendum, the conclusion was coming up right after that point. Wouldn't it be just the most boring sex ever? There's a con for you. I mean, you're the only one doing something while they're doing nothing back in return because they're dead. They can't move, they can't do anything. What are you supposed to do? You're not going to get stimulated in an appropriate fashion. There's nothing better in sex when the other person is doing something magnificent to you. Just saying. And what happens if you're a woman who's a necrophiliac and the guy you really want to fuck is dead, doesn't actually have an erect penis when he dies. Rigor mortis set in, and sadly, the guy was flaccid. What are you going to do? You can't get him rock hard because eventually the blood goes, doesn't it? So, well, you fuck them. And conversely, how is the guy supposed to get the vagina to open up? Because it's hard enough when you're bloody alive and you're trying to get it in. How hard is it going to be when rigor mortis is in? And the arse, well, everybody knows that's also hard. I guess some people would say lube, but that's just... is that really worth the effort? The rest of it is pretty obvious. The cons outweigh the pros. You're more likely to get a disease. You will be frowned upon by society. You essentially have something wrong with you if you feel the need to have sex with dead bodies, and you need psychiatric help, and that's really all there is to it. If you have issues with consent and you have to fuck dead bodies, again, something wrong with you. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Thanks once again to Got That Funk for allowing me to host this video on your channel, and until next time, people, I bid adieu.